with a live look outside this morning as freezing rain hits northeast Ohio. The good news right now, there are no problems on the main roads, but certainly be careful on our ride in, at least for me. The secondary roads, a little more tricky than the highway, but the roads can be slick for sure.
I told Matt first thing when I came in, I was like, okay. So I slid coming onto downtown streets. So you're gonna wanna leave extra time just depending on where you work, where you're going to school, space to stop. That has been important. Matt has been keeping a close eye on all of this freezing rain. You told us that this is what we'd be experiencing, and luckily I feel like the highways have been okay.
Right.
We'll have to see.
And that's what we were saying this morning. Highways are the place to be this morning. ODOT has been out and about all night salting. It's the side roads. There's just so many of them that, you know, road crews haven't quite gotten to those yet, especially downtown Cleveland. I'll tell you, the roads that I traveled on as well are slippery, and you will do some sliding here downtown. But in terms of area-wide, what we're dealing with this morning, we have a winter weather advisory. It goes through noon. Once we're beyond noon, we're fine, all right? Temperatures are going to warm up, and it's for freezing rain. Freezing rain is something that you really don't see coming, because you're going and it's raining and you think it's just rain, and it's not. It's freezing. Once it hits surfaces that are below freezing, it turns to ice, and that's what we're dealing with. So we've got a mix of rain and freezing rain across northern Ohio right now. The radar tries to decide exactly what's falling. It's not always 100% accurate, but we've got a pretty good indication that we've got mainly rain downtown. You get up in the higher terrain, east side of Cleveland, eastern Cuyahoga County, out into Geauga County, Ashtabula, Trumbull, northern Portage County. We're dealing with freezing rain out there. The deal this morning, Akron, you've had pretty decent travel, at least through the course of the morning hours, with mainly rain there. We do have some slick spots. You get out towards east, out towards the east, and then Mansfield, Richland County, out in Ashland County, dealing with some freezing rain. And there's some freezing rain mixed in here as well. The radar hasn't been picking up on it. But either way, if your surface is treated this morning, if there's salt on it, it's fine, all right? So most of the main roads, the highways, will remain fine throughout the morning. It's the side roads, decks as you're heading on out, driveways that are going to be slick. Temperature story, that's what we're watching. We've got some freezing marks here. Most of us above freezing right now, though. But keep in mind, the surface has been really cold. And I've got the road temperatures on here. Westlake areas out towards the west, you're just above freezing. Canton, you're above freezing as well. But that doesn't mean that it's, you know, not slick in spots, because it got so cold over the last 7 days that a lot of that water freezes initially, then it'll start to melt. Here's our system we're dealing with. Again, once we warm up throughout the course of the morning hours, we'll be fine. And we're not just talking here at the surface, the loft as well. It will continue to warm. Rainy day. Outside of that, we'll have some fog around as well. Just kind of a dreary day, but temperatures making their way into the upper 30s. We get so much warmer than there. I'm so excited to share these numbers with you. We've got it for you coming up, Mo.
I know, it's gonna feel tropical.
It is.
Matt, we're excited. All right, it is 5:03, and as we've been telling you, what we experienced out on the roads this morning is a little bit of ice, especially as you go onto those side roads, but it's always so helpful to have somebody who has already driven the roads and can tell you exactly what it's like.
That's right. Matt warned us. We've talked about it, so we sent Carmen Blackwell out this morning to check on the conditions. Carmen, what do you see for us here this morning?
Well, good morning to you guys. I'll tell you this, we didn't really have to go too far just to show you that the sidewalks are going to be super slick and icy this morning. But also, as we know, the roadways too. Last week, we were dealing with all of this snow that's on the ground and it's still frozen outside. But today we're talking about freezing rain, which means icy road conditions. And we know that this means that icy road conditions are much more dangerous than the snow that's on the ground. That's because it freezes up and it's super slick too. I'm not going to lie to you. As soon as I was walking outside, I almost slipped and fell. That's because the freezing rain, when it starts to sheet over as ice on the ground, you really can't see it. So it's super slick, and that makes it tricky for you too. So we want to make sure that you get to where you need to go and you get there safely this morning. Maureen said it earlier. Please drive safely, slowly, and try to leave a little bit ahead of time so that way you're not in a rush this morning. We do know also, ODOT tells us that they had hundreds of truck drivers out this morning salting the roads, treating the roads for these conditions to make sure that you're prepared and you have a safe commute into work or school this morning. Back to you.
Yeah, you know, we think about cars and traffic and being in your car, but you're so right, walking on the sidewalk. Carmen, even last night before I went to bed, I thought, all right, when I walk outside my door, watch that first step. So be careful this morning. All right, I'm glad you're safe.
I didn't watch my first step. I don't. No. It's not slick right now, but earlier over this side, it was slick, okay?
All right. Be careful, Carmen. Thank you. We'll see you in just a bit.